My name is Ria. I am 32 years old. I work at a small software firm. My life is quiet and simple. One day, a new manager joined our office. His name was Kabir. He was 40 years old. He was warm, kind, and always smiling. His voice had a calm tone that made everyone feel safe. He appreciated people and made everyone feel seen. At first, he was just my boss. I said hello. I smiled and returned to work. But over time, something changed. I began to enjoy talking to him. Hearing his voice made my day lighter. When he looked at me, it felt like time paused. One day he asked, "Are you all right, Ria?" I replied, "Yes, thank you." But inside, my heart was racing. He made me laugh. He remembered the little things I said. He stood close when we talked. At night, I found myself thinking of him. I didn't want to, but I couldn't help it. Sometimes I argued with myself that it was wrong, but truthfully, I was already falling for him. I hadn't planned it. It just happened. Then one day I saw a ring on his finger. My heart sank. He was married. I felt a deep sadness. I told myself, "You must forget him." But it was already too late. My heart belonged to him. I saw him every day. He walked past my desk, smiled, and said, "Good morning, Ria." I smiled back, but inside, my heart screamed, "You love him." He didn't know. No one knew. In meetings, he looked at the screen. I looked at his face. I tried not to stare, but it was hard. His voice lit up my days. One day he stood very close. My computer had an issue. He came to help. His hand brushed against mine. My heart jumped. My face felt hot. He asked, "Are you okay?" I smiled and said, "Yes." But inside I was not okay. I wanted to cry. I knew it was wrong. He had a wife. He had kids. He wasn't free. Love doesn't always bring joy. Sometimes it brings quiet pain. Mine was a silent love, a hidden feeling. At home, I thought of him. Sitting in my room alone, I asked myself, why do I feel like this? There was no answer. I only knew that I couldn't stop my heart. One Saturday, I went to the park. I needed air. I needed space. Children played, dogs ran. The sun felt warm. I closed my eyes for a moment. Then I heard a familiar voice. It was Kabir. I opened my eyes. He stood just steps away, but he wasn't alone. A woman stood beside him, smiling. A little boy ran up to them. Then a little girl followed. They laughed together. Kabir picked up the girl and kissed her forehead. That woman was his wife. Those were his children. I froze. I couldn't move. They looked so happy, so whole. He didn't look like my boss there. He looked like a husband, like a father. I was glad he didn't see me. I turned my face away and stared at the trees. I wanted to cry but held it in. I thought, this is the truth. He belongs to them, not to me. I sat there long after they left. My heart felt empty. I felt small. I asked myself again, why did I fall for him? But there was no answer. I walked home slowly. That night, I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I just whispered, "Forget him, Ria. Please forget him." But my heart replied, "I can't." Monday came. I didn't want to go to work. My heart still hurt after seeing him with his family. But I had no choice. I stayed quiet. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to smile. Then Kabir came to my desk. He looked at me and asked, "Ria, are you okay? You look tired." I looked down and said, "Just tired." He sat beside me. "You're a good person, Ria. You always help others. You're quiet, but strong. You're special." My heart stopped. Special? No one had ever called me that before. I smiled, but inside I was shaking. I wanted to tell him everything. I wanted to say, "I love you." But I didn't. I couldn't. He smiled again and returned to his office. I sat at my desk, staring at the screen. But I couldn't focus. My hands were cold. My heart was too full. That night I stood before the mirror, looked at myself and said, "He thinks I'm special." Then I cried. I cried because I was happy. I cried because I was sad. I cried because I knew he was not mine, and maybe he never would be. One day after work, Kabir and I stayed late in the office. We were alone. I wanted to say many things, but I was afraid. He looked at me and smiled. Ria, he said softly, you matter to me. My heart jumped. I looked at him, scared and happy. I wanted to ask, do you love me? But I said nothing. He spoke again. I'm married, but I like you. You make me feel alive. Tears welled in my eyes. I didn't know what to say. He said, I don't want to hurt my family, but I can't stop thinking about you. I was confused, sad, full of hope. I wanted to believe he might leave his family, but I knew it wouldn't be right. I said, Kabir, I like you too. But you have a family. I don't want to cause pain. He nodded. I understand, he said. We sat in silence. The room felt cold. That moment stayed in my heart. It was beautiful and painful. I didn't know what the future would bring, but I knew my love was real. After that night, things changed. We worked together, but feelings were not discussed. We kept a respectful distance. I thought a lot about love and pain. I realized loving a married man is hard. It's full of sadness and secrets. One evening, I sat alone and made a decision. I told myself, Ria, you must be strong. You must love yourself first. I chose to stop hoping he'd leave his family. I chose to live for me, to seek my own joy without him. It wasn't easy. Sometimes I still thought of him. Sometimes my heart still hurt, but I learned something. Love isn't always about holding on. Sometimes love means letting go. I started to smile again. I started to dream again. I started to love myself. Kabir will always have a place in my heart. But now I'm free, and I'm ready to begin again. Dear friends, thank you for being here and listening to this story on Real Heart Stories with Layla. I hope you found something real in it. Remember, love can be hard, but self-love is power. Take care of your heart and believe that peace will come. If you liked this story, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others. I love reading your comments. Thank you for supporting. Stay tuned for more stories.